Hiatus scam that federal authorities say involves your health care. Untrained nurses accused of working around the country with fake diplomas.
Investigators with the Department of Justice say thousands of forged diplomas were sold by 3 South Florida nursing schools. Ari Height joins us with details on the dozens of arrests that have already been made.
Hello and welcome to my channel. If you are new here, hello, welcome. My name is Lanice. I'm a nurse and I do these cool little nursing videos. If you are not new here, you already know my name is Lanice. You already know I'm a nurse, but you already know that I'm grateful for you guys tuning into another video because you could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me right now, okay? So we will go ahead and get straight into the topic at hand today. We already gonna talk about the tea. Matter of fact, while we sip tea, I'm gonna tell you what I'm sipping on here in my little mug. Even though it is in a cup that you usually get Moscow mules in, I actually just have some Angry Orchard and some peach sangria. My birthday was last week. My friends and I had a game night at my house, and of course a few people brought alcohol, and I just kind of mixed in a cup what was left over. So that's what we're sipping on today as we get into this juicy nursing tea, okay? Nurse News with Niece. We might have to name this session, okay? So what's going on in the world of nursing? If you are not living under a rock, you have already heard about the nursing scandal that has been going on. So the FBI named this nursing scandal Operation Nightingale, of course, after Florence Nightingale, the grandmother of nursing, okay? So that's what we're talking about here today, Operation Nightingale. If you see me look down or read, it's because I am, I took a lot of notes just so you wouldn't have to, baby. You can come and get all the information from me because I got it for you, all right? All right, so what exactly is going on? 25 people were charged with participating in a wire fraud scheme that created an illegal shortcut for aspiring nurses to get licensed and find employment. All right, so what kind of nursing licenses and diplomas were people out here getting? They were actually getting LPNs and RN licenses, okay? So over 7,600 fraudulent nursing degrees and diplomas were given out in the state of Florida amongst 3 different schools. So the schools that were giving out fraudulent nursing diplomas and transcripts were Siena College, Palm Beach School of Nursing, and the Sacred Heart International Institute. Now I must say that this scheme actually took place from the years between 2015 and 2017. Because one of the schools that participated in the scheme actually closed down in 2017 due to too many failed NCLEX, due to low NCLEX pass rates. If you are not a nurse and you're just tuning into this video because you just wanted to listen to some tea, the NCLEX is the state board that everyone in the U.S. must take in order to receive either an LPN license or an RN license. I have personally taken both the LPN and the RN NCLEX because I started my nursing journey off as an LPN. All right, so I told you that. All right, so how did they get caught? This is the funny thing to me, because of course everybody usually gets caught because there is a snitch. So someone actually tipped off the FBI and let them know that down in Florida people were selling degrees. And to get a little bit deeper into it, there were 2 people, a brother and a sister. The young man was actually a Haitian immigrant, and he was living here in the U.S. with his sister. His sister was charging him room and board, but in order for him to not pay room and board, she asked him to help her recruit for this fraudulent nursing scheme. So a brother and sister, the brother was technically working for the sister. She didn't even pay him anything, you guys. Like that's the real tea behind it. Like, oh, buddy is about to do 20 years in prison and he didn't even make any money off of it. He was literally just doing it because he was an immigrant and he needed somewhere to stay. So his sister's like, hey, get in on this scheme with me and I won't charge you rent and I won't make you do any house chores. And of course he got into it. So you just see the level of exploitation that's going on in this. So anyways, these 2 were actually the middleman between the big nursing schools and people who were wanting to obtain their nursing degree. And what they would do is they would recruit people to come in and pay $10,000 to $15,000 for a degree, and these schools would create a transcript for these people telling they would create a transcript for the aspiring nurses saying that they took classes that they didn't take, saying that they attended clinicals that they did not attend, and that they passed nursing school at this particular school, which allowed these people to, one, either obtain a job, or two, sit for their state board of nursing. So it goes to also say that these recruiters were also telling people that they should sit for the state board in the state of New York, because the state of New York has an unlimited amount of times that you can pass or take the NCLEX and fail. And they also told people that they would help them take two classes, that continuing education classes that were required to sit for the New York Board of Nursing and receive your registered nursing degree in the state of New York. So my camera gave me hell and it died. So I let it charge for a little while. I'm gonna try to go ahead and finish up with this nurse news with niece before it goes dead again. So like I was saying before, I was really interrupted by my camera. These people would go and they would recruit nurses, aspiring nurses. They were the middleman between the aspiring nurses and the schools. They would basically get them to sign up to pay between $10,000 and $15,000 for a diploma, and these diplomas and transcripts would allow for people to sit on the state board of nursing, where they were also told to sit for the New York Board of Nursing, because the New York Board of Nursing allows you to take the NCLEX in an unlimited amount of times even if you fail. If you fail, you can take it unlimited. You have an unlimited amount of times to fail. So now that we kind of know the gist of everything that happened and what was going on, let's take a look at this TikTok so we can kind of see what happened with one of the nurses that purchased one of their nursing diplomas.
Okay, this is another long one, but I got some tea. I found a case where one of these people used the Florida diploma mill. Okay. So a Central Iowa man was working as a state licensed nurse. What he did was he took the application to the Iowa Board of Nursing seeking an LPN, and he got licensed by them. He claimed that he took a 17-month practical nursing education of allied health in Virginia. The board approved his application, issued him an LPN license in April. In 2020, he filed for an RN license. He reported that he graduated from Florida Siena College of Health in 2019. He submitted a copy of his diploma and transcript showing his attendance at school over 15 months. 1 year later, he successfully completed the NCLEX. 6 weeks after giving him his RN, the National Organization State of Nursing Boards notified the Iowa Board of the FBI investigation into nursing education programs that were selling fake diplomas, typically for $6,000 to $18,000. This included the National School of Allied Health in Virginia and Siena College of Florida. By the time Iowa Board was notified, the states Virginia and Florida had long since ordered the two institutions to cease operation. An Iowa Board of Nursing investigator contacted Masengo, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong, who reportedly said he paid $11,000 to the National School of Nursing and Allied Health. He initially claimed to have completed his coursework in the school for 2017, but could not explain why his transcripts showed a completion of 2013, which predated the school's forced closure. After additional discussion with the board investigator, he admitted that he had paid a man for transcripts diploma as a shortcut to completing his education. So he admitted that he knew what he was doing. Here's the shit, and this is what I was telling you about. He originally sought a nursing degree, but he was kicked out of the program because he failed a course. He then acknowledged that his licensed practical nursing program was a single-day review course. As for the RN program at Siena College, he admitted there was no coursework and there was no clinical hours. Basically, had to study on his own. So you get the NCLEX prep and you take, app questions. The board records indicates he took the LPN exam twice, and he took the RN exam 4 times before passing the tests. At the time of the investigation, he was working as a travel nurse and was also employed by the Colorado Mental Health Institute. At the hearing, the board determined that he engaged in fraudulent activities, and they revoked his license. He received little to no classroom instruction and did not undergo any clinical training. They have revoked his LPN and RN license. While he was in Iowa, he also worked at Valley View Village, an assisted living center and nursing home. Federal tax records record that he, in 2019, made $114,000.
Okay, so according to that TikTok, that nurse was actually he actually worked as an LPN and an RN and actually traveled after receiving a fake nursing diploma. So how do I feel about it? Would I ever do it? No. I would never do that. I have worked as both I went to LPN and RN school, and both of them kicked my ass. And I still, working in the career field, I've been an RN for 2.5 years now. Working in the hospital for 2.5 years, I still don't know what I'm doing. I still ask a lot of questions. And there are still some skills that I don't feel confident in doing. Like, I actually still ask people to do my IVs for me because I suck at them. So I couldn't imagine not going to nursing school. You need training. Nursing is not one of those jobs that you can just get on the job training. You need school. You need the education. You need the science behind it. And I'm not sure if maybe these nurses weren't going on to work. Well, we just saw that some of these nurses were going on to work in different healthcare settings. From what I've read, people worked in nursing homes, people worked in hospitals, some worked in administrative positions, some worked as private duty nurses. All of those jobs require at least some type of education, some type of nursing education. I also feel that this is actually going to kind of taint the perception of nurses. Nursing has been the most trusted, has been voted the most trusted occupation. And it's going to be hard to trust your nurse. And I think it's even going to be harder for the newer nurses, because newer nurses, when they get out of school, they're not quite confident. They always ask questions. They always need help. They always need someone kind of at the bedside telling them, you're doing all right, you're doing good, or no, don't do it like that. So now people are going to be wondering, like, if somebody says, I'm sorry, I'm new, let me go ask for help, they're going to be wondering, like, are you really a new nurse, or did you get your nursing license in Florida? Like, which one is it here? Because I don't know if I can believe you. Like, I honestly think that it might taint people's view on nursing. Also, I won't lie though, reading these articles, even though it was unnecessary, a lot of these writers made sure to put emphasis on the fact that a lot of people that participated in these fraudulent schemes were down in Miami, which has a high Haitian population. And some of the articles I read said that many of the people that participated in this scheme were of Haitian descent. I think that we have to at least take account for the fact that people who come to this country as immigrants, they have it hard. So not only is it hard for them to get jobs and, get into school, it is also hard for anyone to get into nursing school. Nursing schools are very limited. RN programs are limited. LPN to RN programs are very limited. It took me a long time I applied to, I want to say, maybe 7 different schools between Texas, North Carolina, and Oklahoma during the time that I was trying to go to find an LPN to RN program, and I only got accepted to one. Nursing school is terribly hard to get into, not only because it requires a lot of prerequisites, because it's a challenging field of study, but also because there's a shortage not only on nurses but on teachers. So the amount of people that can be accepted into these nursing programs is very limited, because they don't have enough teachers to teach larger classes, which makes it very hard to get into. So I ain't gonna say I understand someone paying for a nursing degree. That never makes it right. You never want to take a shortcut. Nursing is not a field that you can take a shortcut in. I still to this day have to pull up certain policies and procedures, or watch different videos on how to do stuff. So you definitely don't want to take shortcuts with nursing. But I do understand how hard it is to come up in America. I do understand that we live in a very capitalistic society, and if you ain't got no money, you can't live, baby. If you ain't got no money, you can't live. And although money clearly was not an issue for these people if they're paying between $10,000 to $15,000, but maybe they were having an issue getting into school because it is so hard to get into nursing school. Not making any excuse for these people at all, but we do have to at least see both sides of the coin here. Just for example, the person that, like I said in the beginning of the video, that was recruiting, that was the middleman, he was honestly just getting paid room and board. About to do several years in the penitentiary just for room and board to live in America as a Haitian immigrant. So I think that we do have to have some level of empathy for these people that felt like this was the route to go in order to get their nursing degree, but it does not make it right at all. And of course, the most important reason why people, shouldn't go this route or take shortcuts with nursing school is because it's like a public safety issue. Nursing, You hold someone's life in your hands. Can you imagine an ICU nurse who never been to nursing school? Like that's very dangerous for people for whoever's being cared for that doesn't necessarily know what they're doing. I watched a video about a lady, this is about 2 years ago, who was a fake nurse. Basically, she went online to her state board of nursing site, typed in her name, and saw a list of nurses with her name, was able to use their license number to apply for different jobs. And she said she basically just worked in these jobs by just asking people to show her how to do certain things. And she lasted for years until she got with a boyfriend that tipped off the board of nursing after they broke up. He got mad at her. So, you know, it's just so dangerous out here. You know, it's definitely a public safety issue for nurses to be practicing and not have the proper education or the proper training. So, of course, patient safety is always the #1 thing whenever it comes to nursing. And this puts a lot of people's safety at risk. So it's definitely a big risk. So I just wanted to come through and give you guys the information that I had on it. If anything else breaks on the story, I'll try to come in and fill you guys in on any new information that I get. I hope this video was helpful and informational for you. If you do enjoy my videos or enjoy this video, please subscribe to my channel. Please like this video and watch all of my other videos, because I feel like they're binge worthy. You know, I feel like they're like Netflix and chill material, you know. But, you know, please watch my other videos. Please subscribe to my channel, and I'm going to go ahead and head out of here. Peace.